Good morning again. This is Keith Parris, the host of Community Voice. And again, I want to thank everybody for joining us again. Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Harvey. Everybody here, all the listeners. And I did receive a text. I should have read it to Matt when he was here. One of his classmates from Tech said that he was a beast. Yeah, like, okay. Basketball in the city of Milwaukee. Reason I asked about Warning, I think they're doing the 50th year of Warning this year.
Where were they? I saw a big gathering over at Lincoln Park yesterday.
Yep, that's where they were. Well, that's Mopar.
Oh, right, exactly. Well,
but you right.
And
it's 50 years Warning.
It was one heck of a gathering over there, man. It was.
Oh man, the people that played in the Warning. Now that was one league I never played Warning. I was AFY during the summer, but Warning, and I think by time Warning was really beginning to grow. We had moved from Victor Berger. Victor Berger was one of the better Warning teams. I think Natatorium, Green Bay, it was Columbia.
Yeah, Columbia for sure.
We moved over into the Our Avenue neighborhood on 26th and Our never had a Warning team that I can remember. But then we had
you stayed over there by the West Side Church.
Yeah, I was right up the street from West Side.
What was it called before that? It was called.
It was a kind of Lutheran church or something like that on the corner.
It was.
Yeah, it was a Lutheran church. Yeah, I was right. That was the story I was telling about Marvin Winans. That was that West Side. And then the late Frank Johnson, they lived in the house next door. Him and his mom, him and his sister, they're in the house right there next door. Man, you didn't have to get dressed up for this, man. It was just radio, man.
Hey, man,
this is radio,
man. That's what he do, man.
Yeah, man. What's happening?
That's the right reverend.
It's the Keith Parris show. I got to get ready.
Did you let me be follow protocol here?
Mike policy.
Mike policy.
Yeah. Should we turn his mic on?
Yeah, he's good. Okay. And so we have with us as fondly known as Pastor Greg Lewis. What's happening, man?
Hey, how you doing this morning?
Do you play Warning?
No, we played AFY.
And I was just
we missed Warning, man. That probably would have been really nice,
And the crazy thing about Warning was you got like the full uniform. You got sneakers and you got the uniform because they were giving away like sneakers. You see like that first day all down there, the building down there on King Drive, now 3rd Street.
Yeah, that would have been great because, when I was young, my mother wasn't buying no Converses, The closest I was going to get was them NBAs. You remember?
From Kenny's. Oh, my God. You know how I do the NBAs.
That's close.
Oh, man.
And it was only like $2 more to get the Converses,
It
man.
didn't matter, man. I
got
a pair of Converse when I graduated from the 6th grade.
And
I must have worn those bad boys up to the star.
Hey, man, you know what? I didn't get any of those things. And then one day, Walter Smith. You remember Walter Smith? Man, he led the city in scoring, and he was at the club, man. He took off his Adidas and gave them to me, man. Because he knew them little NBAs I was wearing. I was sliding all over the place. Man. He gave me those Adidas.
I forgot all about the NBAs.
They was nice too, man. I wore them Adidas till they was almost like on my toes and heels. But boy, I love them shoes, man. They was
look at you now, though. Look at you now.
Yeah,
Won't he do it?
Yeah,
look at it.
Hey, but they were so slick because they was the low cut too.
Right.
They were sharp.
Right.
The Adidas, man, Walsh said, "Here, man, take these."
Right.
Said, wow.
Dude. You took down there. It's Throwback Thursday, so the NBAs.
But Warning, it was such a great competitive basketball league. But I wouldn't take anything away from AFY, man, because AFY, man, we had crowds like high school basketball games.
But AFY was primarily during the school year.
Yeah.
He did have a couple of summers, he being Mr. Hill, Roy Hill. he did have a couple of summers where we were outdoors, but once warning hit, he just let it go.
Yeah, and you know, because he didn't have the funding to
Right.
continue.
Well, because he was
AFY.
doing football.
Yeah.
AFY was really football.
Oh man, AFY was, and you know, through AFY, I went to basketball camps.
Okay.
I went to McGuire camps.
Okay.
I used to talk to Al McGuire early in the morning
Okay.
because I had sprained both my ankles. He used to come and see me, man, and he compliment you. Hey, little Dean, how you doing? You know, all that kind of stuff. It was great, man. So I went to that camp like 2 years in a row, and I went to Bucks camps, and you know, that was AFY, man. And at the club, you know, we met all the pros in town.
Right.
And all
Because of soup.
the high level college basketball players. You know, you go in the gym and Larry McNeil and Lucas would be in there just going at it, you know. But yeah, I don't think AFY take a second seat to anything.
I think what warning was because one of the people, Tyrone Hooper, just recently passed, was from New York.
Yeah.
And they were doing it based on Rutgers and how
Yeah.
Rutgers was set up. Now, a lot of people may or may not know this, that the original Athletes for Youth was a track club.
Oh,
My uncle ran with them, and then I'm thinking
I did that too, man.
Yeah.
I remember I was trying to run the 440.
Okay.
I didn't get trained right.
Okay. Oh man.
Hey, by 2:20, I was done.
Right. Which is one of my favorite races, the 400 meters, 440,
Yeah.
because that really is the thinking man's race.
Wow,
It's a
man.
sprint, it's short
Man, you
distance.
bringing back all kind of stuff. Man.
No, but and so my uncle did that, and they were over at Riverside. And then when I got to Parkman, it must have been my 8th grade year, some dudes said, "You want to play football?" And I said, "Yeah." And so they took me over to Our Avenue. I didn't know that playground existed. Go over to Our Avenue. You guys practiced there, Laverne Way.
Laverne Way.
The Redskin Chargers practiced there.
Man, they had the big running back.
Right.
Oh, my
And
God.
then
Who
North,
ran sweeps. and
North
gave you
Division
headaches. Yeah.
Fresh Soft.
Yeah, they practiced
They
there
practiced
also.
there too. And so we were there, the Hornets Urban Day. We were awful, man. We were awful.
Man, you went to Parkman? I thought you went to Urban Day.
Man, I went to Parkman.
Man, I thought
Don't be no disrespect to Urban Day.
man,
Come on, I
look,
was
man.
at Parkman, man.
See, I thought you was one of those privileged guys who went to
I was.
Urban
I had
Day,
the great
man.
privilege to go to Parkman. I was privileged.
Man, I'm like, hey,
Matthew was saying that he went to Fulton, and the joke about Fulton was, as your classmate Carl Strong would say, he said, "You go to Parkman to be a militant, you go to Fulton to be an entertainer."
uh-oh. Yeah, because they started that.
The precision team.
Yeah. Yeah, Frank Gatson, my cousin, was on the what did they call him?
The Brothers Precision Team.
Yeah,
That was the
man.
men's
Boy, they
team.
used to get down. Then he broke out with the robot that time.
Oh,
man.
man.
You really going back.
They danced. We marched. The Path of Vanguards. We had rifles. We was about the revolution. It was about the revolution in Parkman, man. It wasn't about that. Was so crazy. And those
Wow.
competitions, Willie Wanzo Jr. posted a picture
Yeah.
of them back in the day, the Brothers Precision Team.
Willie
There.
Wanzo, he went to Roosevelt.
No, he was at Fulton.
He's at Fulton.
He was at Fulton. He was at Fulton. They but
Oh,
they-
Melvin Wanzo. went to
Melvin,
Ro-
right?
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Melvin was that. That was a good Roosevelt team. Kenny Green was on that team.
Man.
That AFY team there.
Yeah.
Ferg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ferg.
Ferg was on that team.
Yeah,
Because
man.
you know why I
Ferg.
remember them? My
Man, look
first
at you,
AFY game,
Huh?
8th grade, playing the
What?
Northside AFY basketball game, playing at the Y. We played Roosevelt. Roosevelt beat us 90-15.
Y'all didn't quit at halftime?
and there was no mercy
I
rule.
would've told Coach
There
that,
was no
man, I'm
mercy
done.
rule, man. They didn't just run us out the gym. They stomped us,
That
man.
ain't even right.
And then I ended up playing with Kenny Green,
90-15.
90-15. Ended up playing with Kenny Green at Dominican, and there was another guy on their team, John.
Y'all
Smith.
had those whips at Dominican, man.
Oh man, but that's where we get into that story, man. But how Dominican went from a debutante school to a basketball power.
Mm-hmm.
And that all started with the 74 team. And then after that, but you know what's really amazing about Dominican? They won no championships in the 80s.
Really? Because man, Kenny Green was kind of like my idol, man. I'm like
Kind of
man,
like your idol.
woo.
Kind of like your idol.
Well, you know what
he
I
did
mean.
have him. Yeah, he was.
I didn't miss any games when he played
number
for
10.
When he played for Roosevelt or
He
the
played
Y?
Roosevelt.
Played for Roosevelt,
Yep.
man. That's when I first started watching
But
the
the Y was like-
crossover when he
Yeah. Oh,
you
he
know,
had a handle, man.
man, he was handling it, Doc.
But the Y was that was bruh.
Oh yeah, Walter Griffin.
Yeah,
man.
that
Oh man, left-handed, didn't miss.
yeah.
I you know, they beat us in the championship game for AFY. You know, and man, I hate to even bring back those memories. You know, I was like maybe 90% free throw shooter.
Okay.
2 games, man. I had the last 2 shots at the free throw line to win the AFY champion. Missed both shots both times, man, because they had Arnold Boyd on their team too.
Okay.
Now Arnold used to hold me. You know, Arnold, I don't know if you know Arnold, he never stopped running. He wouldn't let me get the ball, and I, you know, if I got it, he was all over me, and then I had to hold bruh. Man, I'd be in the corner with bruh, man, and my hand would be almost on his hand.
That dude was
And he still, it'd be going all net, man.
That's
Walter
right.
Griffin.
LeVar Way was the 2 Gregs.
Yeah.
With a Greg Fisher. Who was your guy? Greg.
Montgomery. The 2 Gregs.
Yeah. Who was the other guy that started with you? He was a Greg
no,
too.
that was David Fisher.
David Fisher.
Man,
Okay.
that
I
cat
thought
could
it was-
shoot too,
yeah,
man. Man,
okay.
we had the best team, man. But the Y had we had the best players. The Y had the best team. They beat us in the championship.
No, Harkman.
Oh man, we used to be like, you know, I used to love playing Parkman.
Yeah,
man.
because I know when they come into LeVar Way with those warm-ups,
Man,
they
they-
look like you
terrible.
yeah, you
Like,
got
man, I hate
junior
these
high
cats.
school, man. They got like warm-ups in junior high school. They had home
Not
uniforms.
just warm up
and away.
playoffs. I'm
What
like,
was you guys were gold. Wasn't you
no,
like a
we
yellow?
were red and white.
red
We
and
the
white.
Lakers.
How you red and white? You the Lakers.
Man, we the Lakers, man.
I was playing at Ben Franklin. I'm not Ben Franklin. Franklin Place.
Man, and those games used to be packed, Doc.
No, they left. Sorry about that, y'all. We just kind of went down memory. But it's Thursday, man.
man,
It's
I don't
Throwback
think
Thursday.
They gone.
414-444-5250, 414. So
wow.
again, I was just shouting out the good folks, Commander McGee and all those good guys who really did that. And
Commander McGee,
he started morning.
man. Yeah, Mike. You know, Mike. We used to play on every morning at the Y on 12th Street.
Okay.
Boy, that Commander McGee, boy, he used to push and shove.
Did he have on some chucks?
He hold you down while he get the rebound. Man, we used to have a ball.
You know who later on in life I got a chance. I
Man,
always
you bringing up all this stuff.
we used to play in the sickle cell anemia charity game.
Yeah,
right?
that too.
With the media folks, and that's when WLUM, that was Mike Bird, you know, he was sponsoring that, and Bill Taylor.
Yeah,
would
Bill,
play. And
cool
Bill was
Bill Taylor.
in those chucks. He was in those old school chucks.
You know,
Oh, I was like, dude, you know, it was interesting. You know, I was talking to Matt Johnson, and we were just talking about
high jumping Matt.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, he was Matt was a little younger than me.
Yeah, man. That Matt, man, he had them legs, man. They were big as
Man,
that
it was-
Matt could jump too, man.
Let me do this. We got a caller. Then we're
Ernie
gonna get it.
Montgomery.
Ernie Montgomery. When Gross told me that boy could play, I thought he was lying. And we was up, and then it was we had a pickup game, and it was Ernie Montgomery against Artie Green.
Ugh.
My God, those dudes balled, man.
Hey man, and when I was coaching Pro Am, those were my 2 guards.
Is that right?
Yep.
Look at you, man.
Yep.
Nelly's Pro Am.
Yep.
Carl, I'm gonna get you. I gotta, so don't go anywhere. I never forget this. I'm down. That's playing at the King Center. You know, Nelly Pro Am. So I'm in the stands and we watching the game. So they out playing. I don't remember these 2 teams. Dude was running up the court. The bench is here, so it's on the north side, the north bench. He runs up the court. Dude's sitting on the bench. He fires on dude and then go back to play it. It said he found the dude on the bench. I never seen that, man. I was like, what? Caller, welcome to the program.
Wow.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Minister Lewis. Yeah, I had to. I ain't gonna say what school I played for, but it was I think Ernest Montgomery went to Northern Michigan. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to hold him for a little bit, and I was kind of quick, and he was fast. He was quick too, man. Good ball handler. But I want to ask you, Keith. Do you remember? Minister Lewis was talking about the shoes because my parents wouldn't give me the Converse. I couldn't get those shoes either. So my dad took me to Sears and got me a pair of Jeepers.
Yep, I had some of them too. Jeepers Creepers.
Oh man, did I get it? They talked about me so bad.
Oh my God, man! And here's what's crazy thing about kids: they was all poor and raggedy too.
Right.
Yeah, but then they be on like you have on your NBA, so you be going like I'm a step above those Jeepers.
Hey, no, but the thing about it was, if a guy came in the gym and he was all spit and polish, matching everything, we already knew he can't play.
That's true.
He's dressed too nice. Yeah, He's dressed too nice,
right,
man.
Right. Who is this cat, man? He don't know what's happening.
One guy, he would have the best basketball, and when he would lose, he would take the ball
home.
Yep, that too.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Keith, I want to ask you, but the Matthew Johnson, is that the same individual that he went to Milwaukee Tech?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Why won't you say what high school you were at, man?
It was a Concordia College way back in the 80s.
Oh, okay. So it was a very nice school
on Highland.
Highland.
Yeah. So it was a very nice school.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, had its issues there. Yeah.
Ernie went to go Giebig too.
Okay.
Him and Matt. Because when I was coaching at MATC.
All right, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I was coaching at MATC, man. We had to go Giebig and play them, man. It was that was rough.
Was Brazili down there then?
Basili was the head coach. I was assistant coach.
Yeah, he was Jimmy Tran's coach at Messmer.
Yes.
Yeah. Jimmy didn't like him very much.
Well, we ain't gonna even go there.
He did not like him, man. Oh man.
He's gone now.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to talk about that fella. He's gone. He can't answer for himself, so I'm just gonna leave that one alone, Keith.
One of the things AAU has really kind of changed.
I missed that too. Did you play
AAU?
No, I missed that too.
The course of youth basketball, because it really was, and I think that when people became real conscious, people didn't want to play on concrete. I'm worried about my knees, and so then they move indoors. Because the documentary they did on Warning, they talked pretty much about them playing indoors. They didn't have a lot of footage from when they were playing outdoors.
Man, that's what they did. But AFY had the summer league on Garfield Park,
right?
Where
it wasn't Warning.
The Bucks. No, it wouldn't. But the Bucks sponsored that summer league, and that was it was just so much exposure back in those days, man. But Milwaukee athletes didn't get the credit for being the kind of great athletes that they were back then.
I think because we didn't travel.
And then, it was catching my neighborhood, like Johnny Johnson lived on 15th Lane,
okay,
down the street from the McKays, you remember the McKays, And, he walked to the gym, and everybody who wanted to play ball, they came to Laverne Way, man, on a Saturday morning. Man, you go in there, boy. It'd be like sweat popping everywhere, man.
Now I know as an adult, because then it was like the Sunday morning.
The Sunday morning. That was the dog fights.
I wasn't going to church, so I'd be over there playing Sunday morning.
Yeah, that is right. We wouldn't go
to church, so we was doing the Sunday morning.
Yeah, we was doing the Sunday morning, man.
That floor.
Arguing like cats and dogs.
That floor. Was that polyurethane
the all-purpose
floor.
But they got a nice wooden floor.
No, now.
But now it ain't. It's not there anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was crowded. I don't even know. The reason why I ended up at Franklin Place was that Laverne Way was just so crowded.
It was.
Now, I originally got my boys club card from Laverne Way, but I ended up at Franklin Place.
Man, you really going back now, man.
Yeah, because I would be over there. That was all the Lincoln dudes. So that was Luckett and Spruer was got a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
The Ivories were over there.
Yep.
Ken and then Seth.
Ken
Seth,
Ivory.
yeah, Seth was little though.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, man.
Yeah, you
And
really
it was
went
something that Greg said to me one day. Greg said, he said, yeah, man, I used to look up to you.
Yeah, man.
I said, dude, I thought you were older than me. What are you looking up to me? I thought you was older than me.
Man, Keith was always mature, man.
I don't know about all of that.
Oh,
I saw Doc Fletcher last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Doc, how's Doc doing, man?
Good, look good.
That's my neighborhood friend. You know, we lived. I lived on 15th between Center and Hadley. He lived on 16th between Center and Hadley.
Well,
yeah, that's my neighborhood friend.
We all started refereeing together. Doc, T4,
yeah,
Talandra,
Sam.
You know who else was with us? But he had already been my guy that used to do
Glass.
No, work with Mike Glass.
Yep.
No, Phil Anderson.
Phil Anderson. Yeah. I think Phil's still doing it, ain't he?
I hope not.
Wow.
That was my guy. You listen to Community Voice. We're doing it in studio by Minister Greg Lewis. And when we get back, we'll talk about why he's here.
Oh, yeah, let's do that, man.
We'll be right back.
Really here.
put
The
some
bottom,
cardboard in the
man.
bottom of it, man. My mama got a paycheck to get the new ones. There's a kid that I coached. I had never seen this before. They were 8th graders, and this was in the 80s. He was the first kid, Rod Hampton. I remember that came in. He had the sneakers that he wore to the game, and then he had game sneakers.
Yeah.
Everybody else was wearing their game sneakers, but he had that. So he must have been doing pretty well financially.
Yeah, we get mad at cats like that.
Right. I didn't know anybody. You know, maybe you had some nice ones, but you wore them.
Yeah, he got talked about.
Yeah, he got talked about, man. It'd be like, man, you living like that? I mean, you got a change of shoes. What is that, man? I don't even think I had a change of shoes in high school.
Man. Well, you know.
You had to change the shoes because you had your church shoes.
I wore my church shoes. And the thing was for us,
no, they was gonna get you some church shoes. Now you had a pair of black, you had a pair of brown.
yeah, we had church shoes, but when we traveled, we had to wear suits and ties.
Dominican?
Yeah. So when we would travel, we'd be in suits and ties.
Wow.
Jackets and ties, but we had to wear ties. So that's how we traveled. That's when you went on the road, you know. Yep. That's what it looked
Yeah,
like.
well, you know, at North Division when we traveled, they wore furs and they was like looking pimpish.
Let me
man.
tell you,
Man, these cats, man.
Now I
You
wanted
come
to go to North Division because I wanted to play with Greg Lewis, and I wanted to play with Mr. McKay, and I wanted to play with I always call me out.
Ralph Irvin, yeah.
Terry. Ralph Liston?
Ralph Liston, Fred Hood.
I wanted to play with those guys.
Now, Douglas Larry.
That was after us.
Okay.
That he was like a couple of years after me.
And
I think they won the state.
Yeah, that
They
was
won the state.
That was
Yeah.
Mike Brown and
Yeah, Mike
Angie
Brown.
and all of them.
Yep.
Yeah. But we had the AFY banquet at the Brown Bottom.
Beautiful.
And our keynote speaker was Coach Suttle. And I'm going, oh man, and he's talking. I've seen you guys because I want to go play for North. I want to be a booster boy and I want to play for North. And he just crushed my dream.
How?
He said, you don't try out for the team. I ask you out. And then I thought, yeah, all those dudes over there at your little farm club over at LaVarn Way are the only dudes that you're going to be asking out. Mr. Dwayne Washington's crew right over there at LaVarn Way. I knew I didn't have a shot because I didn't go to LaVarn Way. I didn't go to voting. So it was just,
because that is so true.
and it was true. I mean, he crushed my dream right there.
Man,
Like, I'm not going to North.
We had about 3 teams in the hallway at North, man.
No,
I mean, bro didn't even play at North.
bro had some other things going.
Well, you know, but I think if he'd have played, he might have changed.
He would have
his
been.
life.
He would have been. Dude, he was one of the more
Man,
phenomenal.
Cherokee
kids.
didn't even play.
Okay, once again, but Cherokee ended up at Washington, right? Now his brother
Oh,
was there.
North Division.
Okay, because his brother Mike.
North Division.
Yeah, Mike Gardner, man. I talk about my idol. I wanted to be Mike.
Man,
Gardner.
look, Mike used to shoot hook shots in the AFY.
Right.
When he got into
That
high school, he used to
jumper,
shoot jumpers,
That
man.
jumper was so smooth, and he had a handle, and he was 6'4". Come on, man.
Right.
That
On his way to Notre Dame. I don't know what happened.
Wow. That's the other piece of it, though. You know, when we talk about, and I think that's one of the benefits now of AAU. I think these guys are a little bit better prepared to go, especially if you talk at D1. Because when guys are getting D1 scholarships, you were exceptional. Here's a great example.
Man, I thought the talent back in those days, Keith, and I'm not trying to slight anybody. I just thought it was just
enormous talent.
superior to what I'm seeing today. It wasn't no Mike Gardner's. I mean, Mike could shoot it from all over the place. He was 6'4", and all you heard when he shot was that net pop. It was like, wow, that net loud.
Man,
That cat could, man. I just think,
74 when North went with Lincoln.
yeah,
Semifinal.
man.
Oh man,
that was a barn
and,
burner.
and this is amazing. That year, that's 50 years.
That's when they stopped it. everybody had to go a different route then.
Right. Well, I think they
I
purposely
mean, they had
put
to
the
be
city
right. That's when that's
purposely
what
put the
happened.
city
They put the
teams
city
in.
teams in the same
in the same bracket. And so North Lincoln played each other that night. Lincoln ended up losing to Superior the next day. We were in the
I don't know how Lincoln.
First of all, that Superior team I found out was a very good team. They were up north, but they were very good.
No, but Lincoln had
They did
6'4", 6'5" guards. They had 6'8" center, 6'6", 6'7" forwards in high school. I'm like, man, and they weren't like big, clumsy dudes. They were like really
they were skilled,
great players.
All those dudes went on.
Yeah.
But I went and did a little research because we were doing the whole thing on our 50th anniversary winning the state championship. Now, again, the same thing happened in the private schools. St. Catherine's played Marquette in the semifinals, right? So that's Gary Rosenberger at Marquette. And then you had Marvin Jones, Joe Foots.
Boy, didn't that Racine used to have some players, man?
Great players.
Oh, man. They had this dude, Reggie Roach, over there, man. He scored 100 points in a game.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Reggie Roach.
I said, man, how you
know what's crazy, though? I'm watching, I don't know if I'm getting something from home about the state tournament, and they talked about Kenosha St. Joseph's.
Man, we had a guy from Kenosha named Al Steele.
Yeah.
Man, that cat was the truth.
But the guy that came out there was Nick Van Exel.
Yeah, Van Exel.
And I was going like, they had black dudes because when we went to Kenosha to play St. Joseph, that was like little Sicily. That school was like predominantly, it was predominantly Italian.
Wow.
These dudes were like Italians. The only fight I ever saw at a basketball game at Dominican, and we only had 2, both those fights were with St. Joseph's High School.
Wow. In a game?
One game, yes. We had
during the game?
During the game, we had a situation with Mike Vitucci, who played with us, and a guy named Larry Pachetti that played at Kenosha.
Wow.
And Larry Pachetti had gotten in the fight a year before. And when we would go down to race, there was 2 schools we'd go to where it was always tough. I used to love going to St. John's Cathedral. But when we go down to Kenosha St. Joe's, all you hear is rich boys, rich boys, rich boys.
They was calling y'all rich boys?
I think they was talking to dudes. Wasn't talking to me and Kenny. Wasn't talking to Dietrich. I don't know. They were talking to, I don't know who we looking around like, who you talking about? And they do the same thing in St. John's. Rich boys, rich boys. I'm going, no, we ain't rich, right? But anyway, so yeah, a couple of things.
Yes, sir.
One, we had a chance to talk. We were down at the press conference. See how we just switch gears. We was down at the press conference for Devontae Mitchell.
Yeah.
And so we were talking, and so again, his homegoing services will be today at the Holy Redeemer Church.
Yeah, 11.
At 11. The Reverend Al Sharpton will be the eulogist.
Yeah.
This is interesting. We were talking about George Floyd. We didn't really get George Floyd until 3 days after it happened.
Yeah.
I guess my question is why, one, didn't the police immediately investigate it as a homicide?
George Floyd or
no, Mr. Devontae Mitchell.
Yeah.
And 2, why is the district attorney so slow to issue charges? And then the third thing is, it took a week for the Hyatt to fire those folks. And we still don't know who it was that got fired.
Well, we're still in Milwaukee, Keith. Those are rhetorical questions, I'm sure, because you already know, we're still in Milwaukee, man. And, Milwaukee is it's the pit for Black folks, man. And people really don't realize it. We're almost in last place in all vital areas of life. Home ownership, criminal justice system work, education. And I don't know if people really know that, man, because they do these national surveys, right? And the the surveys show that we're almost at the bottom of the list of all these areas of life. And people really don't respect the lives of Black folks here in Milwaukee, especially the system. And I guess they have to be very careful how they deal with us. And in saying that, I would say that they really don't want to set precedents for something like that, you know. So they're very careful. I would say why they haven't, you know, pressed the charges. They're very careful. And then the other thing is, you know, we still live in a very racist, bigoted city that is kind of under the radar, you know, because it's kind of subliminal because it's so sophisticated, Keith. But still, you know, they keep us at bay, you know, with incomes, you know, for instance, you know, Dr. Levine, he did the research, right. And, you know, he found out that, you know, a Black person with a master's degree here in Milwaukee makes the same amount of money as a white person with a high school diploma, you know, and see, we're not really paying attention, Keith. You know, I always say we walking down the street whistling Dixie. Now, why would we be walking down the street whistling Dixie? And we're not paying attention to our true power. We're not paying attention to it, Keith. We really aren't. We think we're powerless because they've told us that we're powerless, but we're not powerless, man. We have options here, but we just don't think about it because we got all these issues: health, income, education, housing, all these kind of things.
But isn't that
man?
endemic of most of our large urban areas when it comes
correct?
I mean, because people go, we're the worst. I'm going,
correct.
Well, there's only 3 or 4 points to separating you from
Cleveland,
better, right?
Buffalo.
I found out the
Detroit,
Philadelphia is considered one of the poorest cities in the country.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, in terms of its Black population. So I'm wondering, as I'm thinking out loud, should we have had or should there be a different community response to what happened down at the Hyatt?
Well,
because it's been the family. And as you said, when you pointed out, you know,
when you say that, what exactly do you mean?
I mean, should we be in the streets? You know, the family is. But is it one of those things where we should be that alarmed, or have we become so used to these things happening, it was just like there's nothing to see here?
Well, you got it. And then the other thing that we have to go further, Keith, is this. Look what happens in our own communities. Man, we shooting babies, running people over. I mean, we're not getting in the uproar about that either. So we sleep at the wheel, man. Something has got to wake us up. And look, and that's the other thing. Our families are just torn apart.
Our families have been damaged for a while.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not.
And now it's really starting the chickens are coming home to roost, because our young people are not being engaged, man. And they're running their own lives. They don't have any discipline, because what we think about discipline is that it's something bad. But, you know, there is security in discipline, Keith. Oh, man. Listen, man, if I look, I don't even want to talk about the spankings I got when I was a kid when I did wrong.
You got whoopings?
Man, I put it really mildly. I said spankings, but, you know, extension cords are not spankings.
Thank you. Another member of the club. Another member of the club. You know, I mean,
it's like, you ain't gonna do
and I'm only saying
no
this
more, are you? No.
You know, and I'm saying this only because of what happens physically. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, you can see that Greg and I are fairly light complected. Is that what they said? Light complected. So when you got hit with the extension cord,
whoa,
everybody could see.
You know. So
here I am on a 90-degree day with a sweater on. We're just eating up those, filling all of those scratches, man.
Wow.
You took me back to, I still can remember the colors, that blue, and then it'd be a little red. And I just, a friend of mine, actually, man, I've known Keith for a long time, and his mother introduced my mother to the extension cord.
Thanks.
We were doing what we were doing. It was about 7 to 8, and I'll never forget Miss Reed said, "Cliffy, here's what you need for them boys." And the world changed. I told somebody, I didn't even know you plugged them in the wall. Did you know that you use an extension cord for just that to extend electricity? I bet you a lot of us didn't even know. I put on Facebook a couple of months ago. Did you know rulers were for measuring?
Yeah,
I got hit with them so many times. I didn't know that you used them to measure.
I know. Come here, Greg. Hold your hand.
When the teachers used to be able to
do that,
man. Oh my God, William Brown. But you know what? And it's interesting. Just growing up, and you talk about the discipline, but growing up in a single parent home, and this is a female-run single parent home. My mother was very conscious to put us in environments where we could be around men. Right.
Yes.
And
like me,
going
to LeVar Way.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, and you were able to go in, and you had that. And for the most part, these brothers were really positive.
Exactly.
We found out a little bit later on in life that some things were going on. But
what you talking about, Keith?
No, I'm not just saying. I mean, this one particular guy had a basketball team, and I never saw these boys play. All I did saw them ride in his car. Never saw them play a game, but they had a team. To be able to go around it. So let me thank God for. Let me thank God for those men who I was telling someone last night. There was a young lady came up, and she was talking about her daughter. I had her daughter in youth ministry, children's ministry at the church, and most of those kids turned out to be very well in spite of me. And I made this comment. I said I was the world's worst youth minister, pastor, who wasn't a child molester. I mean, it was just like, the kids would come to, they have a life issue. I'm going like, here's the advice. You'll get through it, son. I got through it. You just tough it up. Pull up your pants and be a man, right? Oh, this dude is giving us great life. But
Keith is crazy.
Everybody
listen to me.
The positive, but to have those positive images.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely right.
And so when you talk about that lack, and I think for the most part, and here's the other thing, the majority of kids, the overwhelming majority of kids I run into are mannerable. They're well-behaved around adults. Notice what I just said. They're well-behaved around adults.
Correct.
Now, I always kid Keon because Keon lived on 11th Street and Kerry Miles lived on 11th Street. So I said, look, I cuss on 10th Street. I cuss on 12th Street. I never cussed on 11th Street.
Yeah, like me, I ain't cussing on 15th Street.
Right. Because it was a different kind of how we were raised in terms of, first of all, you don't bring any shame to your family.
Yeah,
you don't bring shame on your family's name. That was, you heard that when you walk out the house, you taking our family name with you, and I'm sure these kids are smart enough to do. You didn't clown in front of adults anyway.
No, because neighbors would take action.
Exactly, and if they weren't going to take action, they're going to drop a dime.
They're going to drop the dime.
And when we were playing AFY, you see,
get slapped in the mouth outside.
Here's the difference. Like Matt was talking about how our health and our lifestyle. And you look at kids, when you did the football league.
Yes.
Parents bring those kids to the game.
Right.
We walked to the game.
Exactly.
And if you saw a parent at the game, we was wondering what's up with him.
Right.
Because we go to LeVar Way. Wasn't no parents at LeVar Way's gym.
That's
and
crazy.
You know what? And I didn't want my mama at LeVar Way's gym.
Wow. That's really true.
Yeah, I mean,
my mom didn't care if I played sports at all. She just wanted me to get an education
and be safe.
Yep, that was it.
My mama came to my senior year, maybe 3 basketball games.
Well, you beat me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, and I didn't really have an expectation. Like I said, in some ways, I didn't. you just can't act the same way when your parents are there.
No. And if you did, your teammates would check you.
Oh man.
You know, that's how it was back then. You know, your teammate, man, how you talking to your mother like that?
Oh, was people talking to their mother like that?
Yeah, right.
You playing on a white team?
No, that's a white team.
I can tell you, man, when I would be in the dorm and I walk by some of my white classmates and I'm thinking, he must be talking to his girlfriend. And then I hear, Mom! Oh, you can talk to your mother that way?
You get a late abortion.
Oh, right. Right. I wish. Now, I was thinking that. I'm thinking everything you just said to your mother. But do you think I ever expressed that?
Really?
I tell people all the time, I never told my mother the truth of why I did anything. Because the truth was I wanted to.
Man, even if it was like a little bit out of order, you know, the term that came out of her mouth. What did you say to me?
Oh, right. You, all that based on you know. And that's interesting because when you talk about, you know, people talk about having their dads in the home and how that discipline was very different than their mothers. You know, now some days I wish I would have just had a dad there. You know, he fired on me once, put me in a coma, I'm done.
Yeah.
My mother, she's working out some things, right? So that beating comes from, I would joke, I'm going, Mama, my name's not James.
Yeah.
I'm trying to beat your daddy, right? She mad at him, and you going like, I was talking to someone last night, she was talking about her mom. I said, do you think there was some anger there? And you think about the enormous pressure that those women were under. You know, even today, you trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. You worried about your kids. You're trying to put them in a great environment. You realize, especially your boys, right, that all the things that can happen out there, and be able to make. So I can understand why my mom would be angry.
See, and you know, Keith, you asked the question, do you think it should have been a different response? Yes, I do. And I'm always feeling that way, though, you know, because I expect people to stand up for themselves. I expect people to respect themselves. I expect us to have standards, right. But we've lost our standards, man. And that is something that is
but
really
is that a reflection on society? We're part of society like everybody else.
A reflection on society. I think it's a reflection on the suppression that has been imposed and inculcated in folks. I mean, it's a deep down suppression that we really don't even understand as people. We don't understand that we really ain't healthy, you know. But then when we get all these things, you know, people taking cars, they say that carjacking is up. But carjacking, you mean they went from just stealing cars that were empty to taking cars that you in?
Yeah, that.
I mean, that's dangerous, man.
Right.
I mean, what have we come to, man? But see, but Keith, it ain't all of our children.
Right.
It's just a few, man. But it makes it look like it's all because of the way we're portrayed in the media. Because most families are good families, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, most families, man, they want a white picket fence and want to sit on their porch in the summertime and drink tea or whatever they want to drink there. Most people want to have a life where there's quietness and peace. But then in your community, you have these entities that really are not thinking at all.
You said something, though, when you were saying that how much of the suppression, you remember this when saying it's been our theme so far this morning. We play basketball and I'd look and I go, oh, Greg is self-check. Remember self-check?
Self-check.
How much of that in terms of us as people is that we're self-checking?
You know, that's what it is, man. We're self-check.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean, well, I hate to bring it up, but Willie Lynch, now it's just a perpetuation. You know, it's like it's been ingrained in us. And now, you know, we just do it to ourselves. Yeah, we self-check, man. And you know, here's the other thing, man. There's so much brilliance in our community. And people will argue with me about this, but man, these young people are bright. Man,
Why would they argue about that?
I mean, because some people don't want to give us credit for being the brilliant people that we are.
Do you think we're throwing our babies out with the bathwater, though?
You know that.
I
You
mean,
know?
because when you see
These young people are brilliant, Keith. I mean,
what has changed? Nothing is. There were brilliant
priorities
people.
have changed.
But you know what? There were people that I went to school with, and they made some life choices that were different than mine.
Yes.
But the one thing that wasn't lost on me was how smart they were.
Right.
Now that was important for me. That even though marginally doing athletics, the thing that I wasn't you would never call me a student, but I did pay attention and I did learn.
Let me tell you something.
And so I
about
would
that,
watch and
Keith.
see who the other smart people were.
No, Keith, let me tell you about that. See, we correlate intelligence with education.
Yes,
It's two different things,
that's correct.
Keith. Intelligence is the natural ability to obtain. Education is the ability to pay attention and learn. We just have not got to the education. We have not learned to appreciate a system that we could, I hate to say this word, manipulate if we paid attention. We could get in this system and change it because we can outthink folks if we have the right information.
But look at what we're
But we
using.
don't even want to, take the time and patience to find out what they're doing.
What we use our brain power for. I mean, those young folks who went in and figured out how to steal Kias. They were using mechanical skills, that they had, but then now it's being put into something that's not very edifying.
Priorities.
Well, where does those priorities come from? You can
The
answer
family.
that. Okay, we'll pick that up on the other side. Minister Greg Lewis joining us this morning. Phone lines open, y'all. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Wondering what makes Wisconsin Dells the perfect
Welcome back to Community Voice, and we're joined in the studio by Minister Greg Lewis, and we were just talking a little bit about the Devontae Mitchell situation we have here again. His funeral services will be held at the Holy Redeemer Church there on Mullet Daniels Way. The visitation is from 10 to 11. The services start at 11. The Reverend Al Sharpton will be the eulogist this morning for Mr. Mitchell's homegoing. Speaking of, and I think great segue, originally Reverend Sharpton was scheduled to be in Reverend Sharpton was scheduled to be in Milwaukee originally Sunday for a rally that they're having, a rally for democracy.
Yes.
You're one of the participants in that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, this all started through Micah. They had a campaign called We All Belong. And there was these religious organizations that have these Nazi characteristics.
Okay.
What they call it, something nationalism.
White Christian nationalism.
Yes, yeah. It was a fight against white Christian nationalism. And thank you. And so this whole thing will be a rally concerning white Christian nationalism, and it's about saving this democracy, and we have to be very careful in our communities talking about saving a democracy, because most of us believe that democracy has not been good to us. Right. So I always try to tell them, man, when we go into my neighborhood, man, let's try not to use that word because people really ain't cared about no democracy, man. They think that democracy is their problem. And, because we don't look at this as our country, Keith, but this is my country, man. I mean, we built this place. I mean, we're the only ones who don't get the benefit of all the things we have built and been a part of. I mean, from every war, we've been part of it. As a matter of fact, we've been a major part of winning them. And we have been here, and other people come to this country, and when they get here, they get free land, free money, and we have never gotten any of those things. We don't have, the free land that they got when they went out west. We don't have airports. We don't have television stations. As a matter of fact, when my guy tried to get the TV station, man, they made sure that he didn't, and he went to jail. Remember Bill Cosby? I mean, he wanted to buy NBC. They said
that ain't why he went to jail.
Well, I think that's part of it. But they did say he had oil under his land too.
Whatever. That ain't why he went to jail. And here's the crazy thing, we share a birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm so not a raper. See, no, but tomorrow, me and Bill Cosby, we share a birthday.
Hey, but Keith, well, you know what I mean,
right? But I'm
maybe that was a bad example, but you know what I mean.
You know who owned the television station till he sold it?
Who?
Pastor Kinlow.
Yeah, but really?
Yeah, he owned a television station down in Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah, and then I thought he had a tower.
That Kinlow is he was
quite a businessman.
Man,
quite a businessman.
Man, wow, that's interesting. But my point is, we just don't believe this is our country, and we don't want to claim it. So that democracy.
Why do you think that? Because I'm with you. I'll never forget my guy, Mr. Owens, Mr. Republican. We were having a really heated argument. He goes, Keith, you need some water?
No, I'm good.
Keith, do you love America? Wait, yeah, I love America. But we've invested too much in America for me not to love. And America don't give black people any tax breaks, even though they look at us as less than. We don't get the less than
3/5 of a man in the Constitution.
No, not anymore.
Huh?
Not anymore.
When did that change?
I think the 13th Amendment.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta look that up.
And then the 14th and 15th Amendment gave
us full citizenship
on paper. The reality
I don't
is,
know, man.
with old
I-
well, that 3/5 was a compromise
gotta
because
verify
of
that.
the numeric advantage that the southern states would have because of slaves.
Yeah.
And so that's why they were doing that. That was a formula put together in their minds to make things a little bit more equitable. But part of that was saying, well, we were never looked as being human anyway. So when you look at 3/5 of a person, that was in keeping with the fact that they looked at descendants or Africans as inferior people, or not even as people, not as fully human.
Wow.
Right? They use terms like we need to be civilized.
Man, you know what? When you say that, man, it's kind of gut wrenching for me because, you know, I'm living in a world where I'm never looked at as a man. You know, I can't protect my wife, my children, you know, and it's heartbreaking, man, for me to fully take that in. You know, that is so man, I'm
You imagine?
I'm cringing right
Can you
now.
imagine what our ancestors though?
Oh man.
I mean, where you saw the signs.
Wow.
As you just said, it's sophisticated and it's Jim Crow Esquire.
Yeah, it's almost
you know,
subliminal.
right.
It's so sophisticated now.
And then I think it's interesting. I didn't realize that. I know the Micah is part of wisdom, and
yes, the Gamaliel National Organization.
but we're not talking a lot about white Christian nationalism. And I throw the white evangelicals in there because when I look at, when you look at that now, unfortunately for us, we have benefited from Christian religion. I'm not going to say that. I know I have a caller who felt like we have no benefits at all, but I can also say that there were deficits from that. And I think part of the deficit was how we had been programmed to, if someone stands before you, and I think you said this to me, if God said it,
yeah,
I can't push back on what God said.
It's all right with me.
It's all right. Or it's in the Bible, and the Bible said,
right.
And then we go, oh, I ain't pushing. And I'm a Baptist.
Right.
We don't push back on the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they call us people of the book, right? I mean, and I think a lot of that has been our programming where religion has been used. Now, was it Karl Marx who said that religion is the opiate of the people, where religion, he felt like the state would use religion to blunt people's desire for full humanship, full humanity, or full citizenship if they're in a particular country. Because what you do is you give religion. And that's when Al calls in and he will say that we've been taught, wait till you get to heaven. Now, I know.
But that ain't what I get out of my faith.
No, we don't get that now, but that was what we were taught during enslavement. And really for some people, and the interesting thing was, I'm sure that there was an African who was going out there asking the question, okay, so you're a Methodist and I'm a Methodist. We serve the same God. Here's the question. Why do you get yours here and I have to wait until I die to get mine?
Yeah, that's quite a question.
Right. And so it's all this, it's amazing what we should defer, right? What wasn't the question that was asked in Dr. King, that you were moving too fast? And Dr. King said, we can't defer hope.
We can't.
You can't. But as you just pointed out, there are a lot of factors there that get into that. But part of that is we want to be on the right side of religion. And I'm saying that some of these things go or should transcend religion.
On the right side of religion.
And I said this to the congregation that I'm a member of. I said, I don't want any religion that tells me I cannot be free.
Exactly. Because that's
I'm sorry. And I know we get in all these theologies about, deferred reward. I think that message has been skewed in terms of, I don't know why the people who taught me this religion, who practices a certain way, say I should practice it differently.
Man, it took me a while before I understood my faith. It really did, because I was wondering, man, I can't do this, but then when I started to really look at the Word of God, I found the strength that I never had before. And that it gives me the power to do the work that I do right now. People are always telling me, Greg, you're too aggressive. They're gonna get you. They're gonna get me. No, man. That's something that I never even worry about at all. I mean, I really don't, Keith, because I know whose, and I know where and what I am through my faith in God. I mean, I really do. And now, it has become to the point where I have matured in a way that I can fight the battle. That's what's gleaming in me. I've learned how to fight the battle, and it doesn't bother me no more when you don't fight right, because I have to keep fighting anyway. And I'm not going to stop fighting until I die.
I was Debo played a
Or
great
leave this earth.
Debo played a great clip yesterday. Otis Moss III preaching that democracy is on the ballot.
Okay.
And he said, I'm speaking now to the black church. But then he went in and said, I'm not talking about a church that black people go to. He said, I'm talking about the black church. And what I think he was getting to, because he did mention people like James Cone, he was saying that the black church has an obligation to promote justice.
And I just was listening to a speech in Memphis. I may not get there with you.
Mm-hmm.
I was just listening to that, and that's exactly what MLK said. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and so we're not having. So it's interesting because there is the whole political agenda. That what you talked about how your faith has been strengthened.
That's my strength, man.
But what I have pushed back on, and this I drive Devo nuts with this, is that I push back on any white supremacy. I push back on white supremacy in religion in particular.
Yeah.
And it all starts with the image of God, who last time I checked looked white. And so there's all these strains of white supremacy. And I would think that in a sacred space, there should be no ethnic supremacy of any group. Now, I understand if you look at the history of Judaism, certainly the ancient Hebrews, they had a sense of a Gentile was people that they looked down on. I guess every group does that. But I was thinking that with Christianity, what it says is purely practice, is that those differences become less important. And it is not linear, it is circular.
But that takes a lot more patience and maturity to understand what you just said. I mean, because what I mean by that is this. Look at us now as people. We've gone backwards since the late 70s.
Which is amazing.
And now we have to try to boost ourselves up again. But we're tired. We're tired of fighting. We're tired of asking people for stuff. We're tired of having to be twice or 10 times better. We're tired of it. And people are starting to give up, man. That takes, in order for us to continue to fight, there has to be a degree of maturity and patience that is just phenomenal. And that's the only way I could get that done is through my faith, man. Because if I was the old Greg, man, I'd be out here wrecking myself, others, all kind of stuff, because it would just be too much for me to handle. But Keith, the other day, I was just saying to myself, there's something wrong with me because these people don't bother me anymore. I just got to do what I got to do. I'm not getting mad at you. I'm not going to be frustrated with you. I'm not going to show any aggression towards you, but I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm not going to just let you run me over. I'm not going to just let you do anything you want to do to me. I'm going to stand up for myself and my community. And it doesn't bother me, and I'm not uncomfortable as I used to be with it, because nobody wants to be disliked. But when you do the kind of things that I do, somebody's not going to like you, especially people who are in power. That used to bother me, but it doesn't bother me anymore. I've learned how to live uncomfortably, Keith. I've learned how to do it, and that bothered me because I said, "Man, are you what's wrong with you? This don't bother you no more." I thought I was losing my feeling for life,
but
I'm not.
But I
I'm
think-
just maturing.
I was having a conversation with a pastor, and I was expressing to him. I said, I don't. My pastor was talking about Jeremiah Sunday, and I was saying that there's a prophet I can identify with.
Yeah.
Because he gave up, got mad, come back, give up, got mad. And then I think, should there be a certain level, Dr. King always doubted that he should be the person in the position that he was in.
Correct.
He felt like, because, the other thing is what we see publicly, I'm still dealing with my humanity privately.
Exactly.
And so, there's some people yesterday, it was great. It just kind of happened, one of those kind of organic situations where Dr. Kwaku was in. And I was saying how politics attracts pathological people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that so does religion.
Mm-hmm.
And so does religious leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And he began to talk about, because we were talking about hubris yesterday, charisma. You have the gift.
That's a gift.
But you're still dealing with your life and your issues and your insecurities. Part of what drives public people is private insecurity.
Listen, man, let me tell you something, Keith. I tell people all the time because people think I'm kind of outgoing. But I tell them, I say, you know what? I'm a homebody. When I go home, do not knock on my door. Please. I hate telephone calls after 6, 7 o'clock. I mean, I'm really like an introvert, but people don't believe me. They say, man, you ain't no. Yes, I am. Because when I come out here, I got to do what I got to do. But when I'm in myself, I am who I am. I don't want to be. I don't want to be out here hollering and screaming at a system that is treating me like dirt. I don't want to do that. And I think it's really stupid to have these press conferences where you're standing there arguing about stuff that ought to be automatic, because the Bible says, when you argue with a fool and somebody else is looking on the outside, they don't really know who the fool is. So I'm sitting out there and people are calling me aggressive. And I was talking to one of my pastor friends. They said, Greg, stop saying that aggressive thing because you're not aggressive. You're passionate. I said, you're right, because aggression would seem like there's some kind of violent.
Interesting you say that. Are you a pro football fan?
Yes.
There's a term now that they're using. I didn't hear it when I was playing.
But I'm passionate.
They said that he brings a certain level of violence. Excuse me. He brings a certain level of violence. And they didn't mean it in terms of malice. It's a certain level of force.
Yes.
And certain situations require a level of force.
Exactly.
And so when people are kind of describing it, and
the Bible talks about that.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Right. You take it by force, right? So what I'm saying, and that becomes
For
how
those of us who think
how aggressive we should
chumps.
be. And
Yeah.
then I think that we've also now have done this thing where where we say that because Jesus told us to turn the other cheek, that means that we should be accepting of injustice. I don't read it that way.
Yes.
I don't think that we should be injustice. There's Meech, and Meech had called.
Oh yeah, Meech.
Talking about
one
sin.
of my favorite guys. Hey,
Talked
Meech, what's
about
happening,
sin,
man?
and I asked him. I said, "Is injustice a sin?
I love Meech.
Is injustice a sin? And should we be as concerned about injustice as we are about what people are doing in their bedrooms?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, no, and what I'm saying is that I don't want anybody in my bedroom, but here's one of these things that it doesn't matter what your bedroom
Sex made
is.
for procreation or
Recreation.
recreation.
Hey man, Keith has got this.
Do we need to go over it
He
again?
got this characteristic where he can be
Yeah.
so vicious with
Pastor,
kind words.
was sex made for procreation or recreation?
Uh-oh,
Well, see, you know, well, both. And man, don't have me talking like that on the NOV.
it was
man.
recreational when we was enjoying it.
Oh wow!
You know that's by design, y'all.
Oh my God!
What? And I'm saying, so should we be as forceful, as violent, as aggressive as some folks are about what people can do in their bedrooms, as opposed to the injustices visited on, as Jesus pointed out, the less than. When Jesus said that I came to preach, one of the things he said was to set the captives free.
Set the captives free.
And it seems to me in some ways, and it gets back to where you have certain religious things that says that just enjoy being a captive. I am struggling, and
I don't getting that one.
No, I don't need it, and I'm struggling.
But that's when that maturity comes in, because
Right.
you got to learn how to live uncomfortably.
Because when we get to Ephesians,
So you can fight back.
is that Ephesians 5, Ephesians 6, where it says, "Slave, obey your master."
Oh, see, I knew you were going there.
Yeah, no, I was gonna go there, and I was
Yeah.
going kind of going like,
that's kind of ugly.
no, and then
We got to research that one some more.
well,
but
I got to research it because
I don't know if they mean that one.
yeah,
But you
they
gotta understand.
meant what they
But
said.
see, you got to understand what context, though, because back then you offered yourself up because you owed money,
Right,
and then you had to pay
you pay
debt.
that's different.
That's different.
Enslavement is
Right.
enslavement. That means
Right.
that somebody's controlling everything.
Exactly.
Now, the one good thing, if there was any good thing about enslavement, was at least they could get out of it.
Right.
It wasn't a lifetime sentence.
Exactly.
And that little change was made because originally, when the first Africans came here, along with the other poor whites who came here, they were considered indentured, and you could basically work
Your way out.
And then when that whole equation changed based on the Virginia slave codes, that now you would go in and you would say to this person that if you're of African descent, that you were in perpetual enslavement.
Wow.
And here's the other thing that I thought, that whole I can never say miscongeniation, the mixing of races.
I don't even know what that is.
the mixing of races and how
Okay, I know what that is.
America, as when we sit up and think about like black and white romantic interracial marriages, it's only 10% of our population.
Well,
The segregation system was so rigid and was rigidly enforced, but there were slave masters who were having relations with enslaved people. And based on how natural law works,
I think that was one of the benefits of slavery, man.
and that was the whole piece, because based on natural law, it says that then you're ineligible for inheritance because of your daddy. And so they had to go in and change it, because when they would have those enslaved children who were byproducts of that, that meant that they were in line for inheritance, and said no. So when you take away their humanity, one of the things we take away is inheritance, right?
Man, you
Who
going
your
into
daddy
a
is.
whole nother area that
But I'm saying, but then that kind of that
Wow.
perpetuates itself and is perpetuating itself. And so even then, when we were emancipated,
wow.
there was no reparations. They killed 40 acres and a mule. Thank you, Andrew Johnson. They killed that because that was the promise. And it got to the point because when it came to Europeans, yeah, we raking or we what's happening, man? What's happening? Wow. So again, Sunday.
Sunday, man.
Let me pull it up. We'll pull it up. Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Mark Brown told me to tell you hello.
Hey, man.
All right. That's my guy.
Hey, man.
Mark Brown. Hold on, man. Let me pull this up. Come on. I got the flyer. Here we go. Where's the flyer? Rally for Democracy, Sunday, July 14th, at the Helen Zaledo?
Yeah, Zaledo. Yes.
Helen Zaledo Center.
Or at UWM.
Is that the old synagogue that's across the
Yes.
street? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. 2419 East Kenwood Boulevard. Doors open at 1 o'clock. The program starts at 2. Let me give you the lineup here. Let me pull it up. We have the Reverend Al Sharpton. I'm trying to pull it up and I can reduce it. Anyway, Reverend Al Sharpton there we go. Amanda Tyler. I'm sorry. Amanda Tyler, the Reverend Byron Massengale,
Yep.
and Reverend Jim Wallace.
Yeah.
Jim Wallace.
Oh man, he tough.
And our local speakers will be Dr. Richard Shaw of the St. Matthew's CME Church.
CME.
Reverend Marilyn Miller. Where's Marilyn Miller?
Well, now she was a past pastor, but now she's at what's the church over there? We had the gym over there on 18th and Locust. Hepatha. Yeah.
No. Is that Hepatha?
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Janine Najee, my good friend, Reverend Joseph Jackson Jr., Friendship
Man.
Baptist Church.
Joe.
A warrior from back
Way
still a
back.
warrior. Reverend Joseph Elwinger.
Yeah.
And of course,
Whoa.
Reverend Greg Lewis
Whoa.
and the Micah Task Force. And again, if you want information, it's 414-264.
Who you said the last guy name was?
This dude named Greg Lewis. And it's $5, but you can go online and do that. Can you pay at the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. I reached
No,
out to
man.
you,
Hey, man, love
and
you,
I know
Doc.
you adjusted your schedule to be here, man.
Man, are you kidding me? When you said come on, I said I'll make time, baby.
My God.
That's it.
My idol. I used to look up to Greg.
Oh no, see, he got it backwards. I used to
Used
look up to him.
Greg
Yeah.
when we were kids, man.
I used to
Stuff,
look up
man.
to him, man. He tried to turn it around, but yeah, great.
I will tell you why they looked up to me when I get off.
Because you're taller than him.
Nah, there was another reason.
He was
but-
always that size.
he was always that size.
Hey man,
All right, you listen to Community Voice. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.
thank you.
and she realized that if you may or may not know, my wife competes in triathlons, and she bought me this T-shirt that says that I work around my wife's training schedule. But I'm gonna tell you, Debo, it's hard being married to an athlete, man. Man, it's difficult being married to an athlete. So
I don't have that problem. My wife's no athlete.
Yeah. All right. So he said, "Hey." Everybody said, "Hey, man."
As you say, Jack.
Okay. Good. I'm going out. Okay. All right. And we're the day before a national holiday, and so as we get ready for that big day tomorrow, if the good Lord says so. Tomorrow's July 12th. That'll be my birthday. Oh, my birthday.
So how old are you turning?
I'll be turning.
You'll be turning.
She comes when she comes around the mountain when she comes. So anyway, 414-444-5250, 414-444.
Any special plans for the birthday?
Come to work. That'll be it.
Oh, you are going to be here.
Yeah. Be at work. So bringing in cheesecake tomorrow for my birthday.
Attack that now, man. You going to put back all you lost?
Just one piece, man.
One piece of cheesecake.
As Brenda always says, it's not what you eat, it's how much of what you eat. You know?
Yeah, I concur.
Because I can tell you, man, you can put me in front of a Ned's Pizza, I'll do the whole pizza.
Really?
Man, yeah, man. Pizza is like my crack.
Well, what about Hups?
I haven't done Hups.
You've never eaten Hups?
I've never done Hups. And I've gotten mixed reviews on Hups, but yeah, Hups is
yeah, I've had mixed reviews on it myself from time to time, depending on how you catch it, you know.
Yeah. Another spot we just found out pretty good for pizza, Sluggos on 126 in Burleigh. Real good pizza.
I also heard
Balustreri's on 68th Street.
Yeah.
Man.
Just south of State. Yeah.
That's
I was about to say Balustreri's. I heard.
That's some.
I haven't had
pizza.
it, but I heard it is
very good. It's very good pizza. Man.
Is it pricey?
Well, relatively speaking, everything is pricey now. I don't know what pricey is now because everything has gone up.
Yeah.
And if you're in the city, it's a little bit more because we got the sales tax. So if you're out in Wauwatosa, Brookfield, and other spots, but yeah, good. Yeah, I ain't doing nothing, man, but just my program. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. To keep it moving.
Because no, Greg was just on. There it is. I kept saying, "Where's DJ?" I'm a day off somewhere.
No, man.
No,
well, you asked what was Wednesday's word. I'm going like, dude, it's Thursday. Y'all looking for DJ, man? Where y'all? What was y'all doing?
I don't know where. I think I'm still tripping from being off the 4th of July or something, man.
The 4th of July.
Yeah. I'm thrown off yet.
Oh man. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Jermaine got a chance to hear Lakeisha Meyer's nephew Khalil play sax last night.
Nice.
He's playing with Christopher.
Oh yeah,
project.
I saw a video of that.
Really?
Yeah, man. They was playing on
over at the park.
Burleigh, yeah.
And I was telling the folks.
Burleigh. Who they had on Burleigh?
Right across the street from St.
St.
Joe's.
Joseph?
That little park.
Oh, that's
there?
right. That's right.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're gonna be playing?
Yeah, I'm I don't know, when you say Burleigh, I'm thinking down by Our Avenue or something like that.
Yeah, no, so I was talking distracted. I thought it was Chris Pippen. I looked up, man, it was Khalil.
Yeah, man, he sounded good.
He sounded real good. I mean,
We played with Chris last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny, and I think you guys are musicians. You're trained musicians. I'm not. But I think a Prodigy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's people out there that you just kind of would go like, oh my God. I remember when Gerald Sappho was like 12
Mhm.
and he was playing at King Solomon. And we're going like, this dude is 12. Oh, Jeffrey LaValle.
Yeah.
Jeffrey
Another one
LaValle.
for me would be and Jermaine can attest to this, young man that Benjamin Love.
Benji Love, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Benjamin Love.
And I didn't realize who he was until he came back and I think Christian Faith was over at Incarnation Church.
Mhm.
And he came back and he was playing, but he traveled with the Winans.
Yeah, he also traveled and worked with Mary J. Blige and several different ones.
Okay.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, and you know, coming up, watching him with the choir that Saffold had, the
Unity in the
Unity in
Community.
the Community Choir. Benjamin Love was a household name around these parts. I mean, coming up because he was kind of like one of the first children that was just
What church did he come out of?
Benji Love came out of, I believe, Ark of New Covenant.
I don't know. I first came to know of him. He was playing at Ebenezer when they were before they built the church.
I think it's Ark, but I mean, I
Ark of Safety.
Ark of New Covenant.
Okay.
I think, but I can't remember. That was so long ago.
Yeah, no, I remember when he first started playing.
How were you?
Man, I started.
You started on the drums.
Yeah, I started on the drums.
Well, because again, his mother played drums.
Yeah.
Your mom played drums?
Man, look, she was smashing. Like she was doing stuff back then. I couldn't believe it. Like I said, Mama is up there killing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I started
let the
playing
drummer
at
not
5.
show up. It wasn't nothing for her to get over
Oh
there.
man, she got on and carried
set.
Yeah.
Was she trained?
No, she just picked it up.
Natural.
So she always wanted to
Wow.
play keyboard. So when she was pregnant with me, she used to sit down at the piano and try to play.
Okay.
And she couldn't figure it out. So had me, I started playing in 5. At 12 years old, I was in my mother's living room and I heard this theme song from the Monsters. Dun,
Okay.
dun, 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 dun. I never forget it. She had a keyboard over in the corner. And I went and grabbed it, turned it on, and played it back. And I've been playing ever since. So that's how I
Now
started.
you did get some pointers from
Man, I got some
like
pointers
Barty
from
and
Shirley
different ones.
Barty, Rodney Henderson.
I remember Rodney.
He took me under his wings. So who else, man? DeMonte Posey.
Now, talk about a genius.
Yeah, that cat is incredible.
That dude.
He's incredible.
That dude. I told the story. Holy Redeemer had not moved into had not moved into their current sanctuary. They were in the building next door.
Mhm.
And they had a choir anniversary. And he played.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, as good as Holy Redeemer was,
Yeah.
they went to a totally
Yeah.
different level,
Yeah.
man.
A good musician can bring it
Man,
out.
it
Yeah.
makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell people, man, there's power in music. Man. Music changes the atmosphere.
Mhm.
And it's proven, like, 'cause even when you're on a date night, you play soft music, you light candles because you set in the atmosphere. So
So
Turn out the lights.
depending on the music depends on if you play the right music or not, whether or not you're gonna get lucky.
it depends.
You ain't
Yeah,
playing Parliament,
yeah.
right? You ain't definitely playing no
Right.
Parliament.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
It's over. It's over.
Let's make love. No, you better go put that Teddy
I'm
on.
trying to tell
You
you.
better put on Teddy, man.
It's over.
You know when, and it's interesting about Teddy Pendergrass because let's get to where we were in America. When Teddy hit, Teddy put dark skin back on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and people, what are you talking about? Everybody knew that usually you have people like Smokey Robinson. You know, you had the Barge. Well, the Barge a little bit later, but you know, like
Yeah.
Bright.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we look for. You know, and then Teddy came, and I told some dudes, you know, because I'm really comfortable in who I am. I was watching PBS had a Teddy concert.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember the teddy bears? You come give out the teddy bears.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting up there looking. I'm like, I'm gonna throw my drawers on the stage. This dude, he had
He was a
a
performer, man.
man. He had this, yeah. But that whole look. This is R&B. R&B is based on sex, y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and I'm not saying that unhealthy people lust. No, it's based on. That's what you know. It is. It's one of those sensual music, and so, man, when he got up there, man, and I'm going like, dude, and I mean.
Somebody that one piece on.
Yeah, I admire the brothers who took their girls to a Teddy concert. Gotta appreciate you, bro. But she done tuned you out.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
not
knock
even
it off.
there.
You done. I
You're
mean,
superficial.
yeah, you just there. You window dressing, man. At this point, she's looking at him. But Teddy, and you know, he started off as a drummer.
Sure did.
Started off as a drummer.
Yeah, but then he was a background singer too, and then he
He
started.
was the singer.
Yeah, but then he started like with Harold Melvin. Them he started.
Everybody
doing
thought
more
that was
lead.
Harold Melvin singing. I said, it's amazing how Harold Melvin sounds so much like Teddy Pendergrass because it was Teddy Pendergrass.
Yeah.
And then finally he told the story about how they just got, and I guess it's music, but how bad they got beaten, that band.
Mhm.
He said they go up to his hotel room and he literally laying on stacks of money. And they're barely getting from one town to the other town.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So,
Well, he had the name.
oh yeah, and that becomes
Greed.
yeah. I don't, you know, there's some bands who when they write music, the whole band gets credit.
Yeah.
I think the Beatles operated that way.
Yeah.
You know, no, they didn't. It was Lennon and McCarthy.
Because I'm gonna say that had to be depending on how it was written.
Or how it was written, right? And so, you know, they would give people so later on in life, if you get the writing producing credit,
Yeah.
you get residuals.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, as a
Yeah.
performer, you don't. I
Right.
think wasn't it the guy from
But the key is to get that publishing, man.
oh man,
Yeah. Publishing,
Publishing,
man. You
yeah.
want all of your publishing.
you want your, and that was the thing, you want your masters
Yeah.
and you want your publishing rights.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of times people are so poor.
A lot of those labels own the masters.
Yeah.
Man, they own you.
Right. That was Prince's. That's why Princeton signed for a long time, because he wanted to control his masters.
Yeah, and then he changed his name to the symbol.
When he went into the conflict with
Yeah.
Warner Brothers. Okay, want to get this caller? Caller, welcome to the program.
What's going on, brother?
What's happening, man? Is it hot enough for you?
Man, don't go there with that.
We'll send you some ice water down there in hell because it's hot in Phoenix, ain't it?
Hey, by the time it get here, it's gonna be gone.
It's gonna go to evaporate.
It's gonna be gone. We've been in triple digits for probably about a week.
Yeah. And in a hot place when it gets hot, when it's hot for them, you know it's hot, right?
Hey,
Let me ask a question though, in
I don't
regards to that. Do they do anything different in the way of like warnings and stuff like that? You got to stay inside, or
Heat
people
advisories?
not work.
Yeah, we get heat advisory, but we also, just like how Milwaukee is, they can't turn your AC off if your bill is too high.
Oh.
Okay, so
'Cause
they have a
otherwise-
moratorium that works in the opposite direction.
Right.
And the opposite, yeah, because you know you got people it's 118 degrees and you trying to pay it for 3 months,
Wow.
and you got to have your AC on for like at least 77, 78.
Yep.
But let me tell you, they ain't talking about how Brownie did double backboard in the preseason this year.
He did what?
Double backboard. You heard me. Double backboard.
Yeah.
What do we mean by double backboard? What do you do?
I'm talking about like he shooting minus points.
Yeah.
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 Come on, I understand. Put your son in good predicament. I understand that. I totally understand
He
that.
shot what kind of board?
Don't sound like he was hitting the rim.
Yeah, but I don't understand. You got people that's really doing 20 points a game and they didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like Master P son, dude, way colder than Brownie any day.
Yeah.
I understand what you put your son ahead, but that means sometimes you put black people behind because people try so hard to get ahead, but you put them behind because you put somebody ahead of you that wasn't worth it.
So if you play,
Wait, before you said that, and then you fire a black coach that has a ring, that has coaching ability to bring the white dude in that has fourth grade coaching ability. You tell me how? Yeah, help me.
That's gonna be interesting.
JJ Redick does look good in his suits, though.
Is that all you?
That is LA. Come on, man. That is LA. I'm just saying.
So
He might be the second coming of Pat Riley. I'm just,
His coaching gonna be double backboard too.
Okay. You know what's crazy though? Talk about Pat Riley. The one time I got a chance to see the Lakers play, Kobe was on the team, Shaq was on the team. They was here, and I'll never forget, man, when Pat Riley walked out of that tunnel in that Armani suit, and that Armani suit looked just like he was born with that Armani suit on. Oh my God, man, Pat Riley, dude. That...
And he had that spit back.
Right. Who's the dude, the boxing referee? Rudy. What was it back in the day? Rudy, the black dude with the hair, had the waves. Oh, what was his name?
I'm not for sure.
Yeah, that dude. And my guys were talking about
Richard Steele.
No. That dude was like one of the worst referees ever.
He got paid.
Yeah. Did he work directly for Don King?
He got paid.
What about Chris Paul, favorite referee?
Yeah.
Hey, anytime he referee, they're gonna lose that game.
Yeah, and I guess that was a real beef to the point that the NBA investigated.
Donahue?
Yeah, but
Donahue was the dude was gambling. Is it O'Donnell?
He might be out of jail. He might be out of jail by now, though.
Oh yeah, he's out. It's funny, man, because the gambling scandal also had everything during that time. They had where the referees they had first class tickets. And they would cash them in to get coach tickets, take the difference. And one of my classmates' first cousin, what's his name? Tolliver, was part George Tolliver. And Christy Tolliver is also one of his relatives. But yeah, I'm trying to think, was it O'Donnell who this dude was that Chris Paul had a beef with?
So what you're saying is I do, and you should believe that the referees play the game.
No, and we are talking about the NBA, and the NBA is probably.
So the year LeBron won that championship, and they came back and won. That's the same referee that went to jail that made them win against Dallas, and they shouldn't have won that championship. He went to jail the following year after that, and then the year after that, they tried to play Dallas again, and Dallas won the championship. That's the same referee that went to jail. So that's why LeBron got that ring.
So let me ask the question. Are you saying that there are conspiracies in the NBA? Are you saying that some of these games might be rigged?
Double HEL hockey sticks.
Are you saying that it's scripted?
Come on now, man. Days of Our Lives.
Man, I used to be back in the day because sometimes it just didn't make sense, and then you going like, "Oh, they want this market in." I don't care how bad the Knicks are.
I think that's what happened to the Bucks the last time they had a real shot at it. After our cousin them, Lil Ray them went down there shooting. The league said, "No, we ain't going back there.
We ain't going.
Get them out of there. Close them out."
But here's the problem: it also happened in Kansas City, though.
And all it took was for those refs to take over the game, and the Bucks were done. There was a lot of phantom fouls in that game.
Too many 300,000 people down in one area with too many black folks. They said, "No, we ain't coming back here, player."
What about Kansas City?
When they won was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, at their victory parade there was a shooting.
Oh, they not going back next year because they were getting it in this year.
There is, if you watch on ESPN, this documentary was done. I think it was based on the 2010 Vancouver Canucks. I love it. It said, "I came for the riot."
But I came to burn it up.
I came to burn it. And the funny thing was, it sounded like something here, like we hear run up to Juneteenth. Like, I hope there ain't no problems. So you hear these Canadian folks saying, all these people down there, I hope there's no problems. The Chinooks lost at home. They burned down downtown Vancouver.
Wait. What about this one? When the Cleveland Browns a couple years ago, they didn't win no games. They had a losing parade, and it was cracking.
Yeah, I can believe it.
They didn't win no games, I think, that year, and they had a losing parade that year.
My uncle lived over there. He used to say, man, we don't put no stock in them because they'll figure out a way to lose the game. They could be winning, and they'll figure out a way to lose it.
They're one of the, not say one of, but the Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions have never won.
Man.
Have never won a Super Bowl, have never won an NFL champion. Well, the Cleveland Browns did win one
with Jim Brown.
Yeah,
with Jim Brown. But okay, well that goes back to like the Washington Bullets. Y'all ain't gonna never win no championship.
Washington Bullets won too.
Yeah, I'm talking about now.
Oh, they're not the Bullets anymore because of the violence in D.C. That's why they changed the name to the Wizards, because of all the gun violence. Remember, because D.C. was considered murder capital of America. So that's when they changed the name from, because the old Baltimore Bullets.
Nobody wants a name like Bullets.
Yeah, but guess what? I still call the Washington Redskins.
And I still call Marquette the Warriors.
Me too. I'm just saying, and I still call what is it, American Field? I still call it the
Miller Parkway. And West Milwaukee won't change the street, so it's still Miller Way now, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's Miller Way. So appreciate you, man.
All right now.
All right, you listen to Community Voice. We're up in the last break of the program. We'll be right back. Yeah. The person, man, talk about just great. Is it called flautist? Flautist? Flute player? Flutist? Flautist?
Flautist.
Bobby Humphrey.
Bobby Humphrey.
Yeah. And then I think Who's the other guy? Was it Pete Fountain? No, he was clarinet. That's something you don't see a lot now.
Yeah.
Jazz clarinets.
Yeah.
And Pete Fountain back in the day. Benny Goodwin was a clarinet player.
Yeah, I don't know too many.
That's old school.
Clarinet players.
It's funny because our first music lessons was saxette. It's called is the reed recorder, but it was plastic.
Yeah.
And that's where you first got your first music lessons. And here's what I could not do or did not do. Reading music.
I can't read music to this day.
Yeah, I mean that just turned me off from playing saxette when I was trying to learn the music, to read the music.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with Bishop Darrell Hines, and he was saying that he regretted he didn't have more formal training.
Yeah.
Maybe go in and sit down and write, but he says now, I guess, with the computer, you just put in the tune and the computer does the notes for you.
Yeah, it'll chart it out for you.
Yeah.
For me, if you put music in front of me and ask me to play it, it's almost like Chinese arithmetic.
Drum line.
Oh man, I'm gonna make it up. I'm gonna fake it. But if you let me hear it, I can play it.
I think the piece when Michelle was interviewing Patrice Rushen, and Patrice Rushen talks about how she's played the Academy Awards, she do all of that. Those music, they have to put together the arrangements.
Yeah,
you charting and trying to, and I would think that for me it would just look like rocket science, but for people who are trained in it, that's just what it is.
Yeah, for some people that's trained in it, they say, man, I wish I had the ear to just hear it and play it, because for some of them, you have to have the music in front, because if they don't have the music in front, they can't play
do it. Right.
Yeah.
I was Roberta Flack. I watched a piece on her, and she had this thing where she wanted that note to be as pure as possible. So when you listen to her, and that's why her and Donny Hathaway were just perfect for each other, because he could float on her straight notes, and that gave it just such a. Because some people are able to do that, and a lot of people don't underestimate the importance of the people back there. This is why I admire quartet so much.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate those dudes back there.
Yeah, man. Who hit them harmony notes
and hitting it the same way
every time. Without auto-tune and all of that.
No, I mean, just be able to. So, the background vocalists, we never get the credit that we deserve. What's that great movie out there, 20 Feet from Stardom, when they talk about all the great background vocals and they talked about specifically Luther Vandross and how Roberta Flack literally kicked him out of her group to say, you need to go on and do what you need to do.
Wow.
And the rest is history. He gets there with David Bowie, works on that Young American album, and does a couple of jingles, and bam, Change. That's right, he did Change.
Yeah, Change, yeah, sure did.
Oh, that's a great group.
Yeah.
All right, let me thank Minister Greg Lewis. Let me thank Debo. Jermaine, thank you. Carvey, thank you. Michelle, thank you for allowing me to cover for you today and having trust in me. Hey, the good Lord willing, creek don't rise. I hope to get to tomorrow because it'll be my birthday.
Hey.
So again, as always, you guys go from this place in peace.